It's here, the warning before the shift. October 6th is the threshold because this isn't just another moon. It's the trigger that sets the wave in motion. The energy is already building. Emotions rise quickly. Secrets come out without warning. Conversations feel strange. Plans take sudden turns. None of this is random. The moon is pressing harder each day, showing you what cannot last. Most people won't notice. They'll blame stress. They'll call it bad luck. They'll miss the sign completely. But deep down, you know something is different. Something is about to happen. October 6th is a threshold. Once you step through, there is no turning back. So stay with me. But first, do 3 things. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and type 9999 in the comments. In just a few hours, the moon and Saturn come together in the sky. This moment is heavy with meaning because Saturn is the planet of lessons, limits, and truth. Together, they create a turning point. Think of it like a teacher walking into the room. Suddenly, you see where you've been lazy, where you've avoided the work, and where you need to grow. This energy points out the places in your life that feel unsettled, and it asks you to face them. You may notice emotions rising quickly. Little things feel bigger. Old issues come up. Decisions you've been putting off suddenly feel urgent. This matters because it's not random. It's your moment to step up, make changes, and move forward. Today, many people are feeling waves of emotions that don't always make sense. One moment you might feel calm, and the next you feel pressure building inside you. Small things seem to bother you more than usual. Old memories come back suddenly. Even conversations with people close to you feel different, like there's something unspoken hanging in the air. That's the effect of what's happening right now. It's stirring up what you've been carrying, even if you've been trying to hide it. Think about the habits you've fallen into. Maybe you keep saying yes when deep down you want to say no. Maybe you've been holding on to relationships that no longer give you peace. Or perhaps you've been putting off decisions waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is, there is never a perfect moment. Life brings us points where waiting is no longer an option, and this energy is one of those points. It's like standing in front of a mirror that shows you everything, not just how you look on the outside, but what you've been avoiding on the inside. For some, that mirror reveals the stress of doing too much for others. For others, it reveals the weight of promises that were never kept or dreams that were set aside because of fear. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The question is not whether this energy is real. It's whether you're willing to pay attention to what it's showing you. Are you ready to admit what feels heavy? Are you willing to release the things you know are no longer meant for you? Because ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It just means the same lessons will return stronger each time. Think about your closest connections. Maybe you've noticed tension in conversations that used to feel easy. Maybe someone in your life has been pulling away. Or maybe you've been the one creating distance without even realizing it. This is the moment to ask yourself why. Is the connection built on honesty, or is it built on old patterns that no longer work? Sometimes the energy shows cracks in a bond, not to destroy it, but to give you a chance to rebuild it on something stronger. And when it comes to your own path, this is a push to take responsibility for what you want. How many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow? How many times have you let fear or comfort keep you from making the choice that could change everything? This energy is not here to punish you. It's here to wake you up, to remind you that waiting forever is not an option. You don't need to have all the answers today. What matters is that you begin to ask the right questions. What parts of your life drain your energy instead of lifting it? Who makes you doubt yourself? And who reminds you of your strength? What choices are you avoiding because they scare you even though deep down you know they're necessary? Life is not giving you these feelings by accident. They are signals. Signals that something in you is ready for a shift, even if part of you still wants to hold on to the old. Ignoring them will only keep you stuck in the same cycle. Listening to them opens the door to something new. So reflect for a moment on your habits, your relationships, and the promises you've made to yourself. Where have you been holding back? And more importantly, are you ready to stop holding back? Because this is the time. Right now, the moon is acting like a giant spotlight, not the kind that blinds you, but the kind that reveals things you might not have noticed in the background of your life. On October 6th, this spotlight turns toward choices, habits, and patterns that have been running quietly behind the scenes. And when the light is on, you can't pretend not to see what's there. Think about those moments when you've known something needed to change but kept telling yourself, "I'll handle it later." Later becomes weeks, then months. Suddenly you realize you've been living in pause mode without even meaning to. The warning here is clear. That kind of delay isn't going to hold much longer. The moon is pressing you to look at where you've been waiting and asking, what are you really waiting for? This doesn't mean you have to throw everything away or make reckless choices. What it means is that your life is showing you places that are out of alignment with who you are now. Imagine wearing clothes you bought years ago. They might still fit, but they don't really match your style anymore. You could keep wearing them, but deep down, they don't represent you. That's how this energy works. It highlights the old outfits in your life that no longer suit who you've become. For many, this shows up in relationships. Maybe you've been in a friendship that feels one-sided, where you're always giving more than you receive. Or maybe you've been in a romantic situation where the excitement has faded, but you've been afraid to admit it. The moon's warning is not here to scare you. It's here to encourage honesty. If something doesn't nourish you anymore, pretending it does only drains you. The same goes for your routines. Think about the small habits you've kept out of convenience even though they don't serve you. Maybe it's scrolling endlessly on your phone, knowing it leaves you drained, or saying yes to things you don't want to do just to avoid conflict. These patterns seem small, but when stacked together, they build a wall between you and the life you actually want to live. The Moon-Saturn connection this week asks you to see these walls clearly. Not to shame yourself, but to recognize your power to remove them one brick at a time. This energy is not gentle because growth rarely is, but it's fair. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for progress. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path is familiar and safe, but you know where it leads. More of the same. The other path is uncertain, but it's alive with potential. This is the kind of choice being offered to you now, not all at once, but through the subtle whispers of your daily life. September 6th already began setting the stage for these lessons, but October 6th amplifies them. If you've been paying attention, you might have already seen patterns unraveling, truths coming to the surface, or situations shifting in unexpected ways. This isn't punishment. It's alignment. It's the universe saying, you've outgrown this and it's time to step into something better. So how do you respond to this kind of energy? The first step is reflection, yes, but the second step is action. The reflection shows you the pattern. The action is where you reclaim your power, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes the bravest step you can take is small but honest. Saying no when you mean no. Saying yes to opportunities that scare you in a good way. Admitting that you want more even if you don't have all the answers yet. One powerful metaphor for this moment is gardening. Imagine you've been growing a garden for years. Some plants are thriving. Others are wilted. Some have outgrown their pots and need more space. If you ignore the unhealthy ones, they don't magically come back to life. They take up space and block new growth. The moon right now is showing you your garden, which areas need pruning, which need more attention, which are ready to be replaced with something fresh. This is not about shame. It's about clarity. If you see a plant struggling, you don't hate yourself for it. You simply water it more or move it to a sunnier spot. The same is true with your own habits and choices. Instead of judgment, offer yourself adjustment. That's how real growth happens, through consistent small shifts that build into transformation. Let's talk about emotions for a moment. Because when the moon highlights Saturn, it often brings out feelings we've tried to hide. Maybe disappointment, maybe regret, maybe frustration with ourselves. These emotions aren't here to destroy you. They're here to guide you. Think of them as road signs. If you're angry, it might mean a boundary has been crossed. If you're sad, it could mean you're longing for something missing. If you're anxious, maybe it's because you're out of alignment with your true values. Instead of labeling emotions as bad, see them as messages. The faster you decode them, the faster you can move forward. In practical terms, this is the time to slow down enough to listen to yourself. Journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or even sitting in silence for a few minutes can reveal more than you expect. Don't underestimate the power of writing down your thoughts. It gets them out of your head and into the open where you can see them more clearly. But awareness alone is not enough. Imagine if you kept staring at your phone's map app but never actually started walking. You'd stay in the same place forever even though you have the directions. That's why action is essential. This energy is asking you not only to recognize the map, but to take the first step down the road it shows you. You might be asking, but what if I make the wrong choice? Here's the truth. Staying still is often the only wrong choice. Every step teaches you something. Even detours bring wisdom. And often what you call a wrong choice is simply a redirection guiding you closer to where you're meant to be. This is also a moment to reconsider the voices you listen to. Saturn energy combined with the moon can sometimes make external opinions feel louder than your own intuition. Friends, family, coworkers, they all have advice, but not all advice is aligned with your path. At the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with your decisions. Use this time to tune into your own inner compass. Ask yourself, does this choice bring me peace or does it drain me? That simple question can cut through the noise. One way to handle this period is by simplifying. Often we think we need to do more, add more, achieve more, but sometimes the real answer is less. Less clutter, less distraction, less energy wasted on things that don't matter. Simplifying creates space for clarity. Think about your phone again. When it's overloaded with apps you never use, it slows down. The same is true with your life. Removing what no longer serves you doesn't leave you empty. It gives you room to thrive. Another metaphor that fits this energy is music. Imagine your life as a playlist. Some songs are inspiring. Some songs remind you of past heartbreak, and some songs you've outgrown. Yet you keep hitting play all every day. Why? Because it's easy. It's familiar. But what if you curated a new playlist that reflects who you are today? The moon's warning is nudging you to update your playlist, not with noise, but with sounds that actually inspire you to move forward. This isn't only about personal choices. It also touches how you connect with others. Relationships may come under review. You might realize that certain dynamics are no longer equal. Or you might recognize that you've been holding back your true self to keep the peace. Relationships thrive on honesty, not on silence. This is the time to ask yourself, am I showing up authentically, or am I playing a role that doesn't fit me anymore? When you start being honest, two things can happen. Some connections will fade. Others will grow stronger. Both outcomes are gifts. The fading ones make space for people who align with who you are becoming. The stronger ones remind you that real bonds can handle truth. And yes, this energy can feel uncomfortable. Change always does. But think of it like adjusting your posture after sitting the wrong way for too long. At first it feels awkward. Then relief sets in. Soon you realize you're standing taller than before. That's what this Moon-Saturn warning is offering. A chance to correct what's been misaligned, so you can move forward stronger. To ground this into something practical, start by identifying one small area of your life where you know change is overdue. It could be cleaning out your space, having an honest talk, or setting a boundary. Don't overwhelm yourself with everything at once. Begin with one step. That single action can open the door to momentum. The beauty of this period is that it doesn't demand instant transformation. It asks for honesty and consistency. Every time you choose authenticity over convenience, you shift the path ahead. Every time you let go of what drains you, you invite more of what uplifts you. And every time you honor your own voice, you build a foundation that no external force can shake. That's the power hidden in this warning. It's not about doom or fear. It's about clarity, courage, and the opportunity to finally live in alignment with who you are becoming. When you think about warnings, you might picture a red sign flashing, telling you to stop. But cosmic warnings aren't like that. They don't scream. They whisper. They show up in small frustrations, in conversations that don't sit right, in opportunities that disappear because you hesitated. The moon's warning for October 6th is not about panic. It's about awareness, because once you see what's being revealed, you can't unsee it. The question then becomes, what do you do with it? That's where your power begins. Awareness without action is like carrying around a key but never opening the door. This period is asking you to finally use the key. Today, ask yourself what part of your life feels heavy. Not dramatic, not catastrophic, just heavy. Maybe it's that group chat where you leave every conversation more drained than uplifted. Maybe it's the project you keep postponing because it doesn't excite you anymore. Maybe it's the story you've been telling yourself about what's possible for you. That heaviness is not random. It's your inner compass pointing you toward what needs to change. Think of it like carrying a backpack. At first, you don't notice the weight. You've adjusted to it. But the longer you carry it, the more it pulls on your shoulders, the more it slows you down. Eventually, you stop moving forward because the weight has become too much. This energy is asking you to unzip the backpack, look at what you're carrying, and decide what can finally be set down. Let's be clear, this isn't about throwing everything away. It's about choosing what's worth the space it takes up in your life. Some things in that backpack are tools, treasures, experiences that have shaped you. Keep those. But others, resentments, outdated goals, unhealthy attachments. Those are like old receipts and broken pencils you've forgotten about. They don't serve you anymore, yet they take up space. This Moon-Saturn alignment is like that quiet moment when you finally clean out the backpack and feel lighter than you thought possible. But lightness isn't the only gift. Clarity is. Once you clear space, new opportunities can come in. Have you ever cleaned a room and suddenly had fresh ideas for how to decorate it? Or even just felt calmer being there? That's what this energy does for your mind and your spirit. Clearing out what doesn't belong makes room for what does. It's easy, though, to slip into fear. Fear of letting go. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of losing people or routines that, even if unhelpful, feel familiar. This is where courage enters. Courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about choosing what matters more than your fear. Think of someone learning to swim. At first, the water feels overwhelming, but step by step, breath by breath, they realize they're capable of floating, of moving, of trusting their body. That's the same trust you're being asked to find within yourself. Now, the moon's warning is not about breaking you. It's about building you. Saturn's influence makes this a lesson in responsibility. Not the heavy, burdensome kind, but the empowering kind. Responsibility means responding with ability. You have more ability than you give yourself credit for. You've already survived challenges that once felt impossible. You've already adapted in moments you didn't think you could. Why doubt yourself now? Another way to look at this is through the lens of technology. Think about when your phone or laptop starts running slow. At first you ignore it. Then apps crash. Files won't open. You realize the system is overloaded. What's the solution? Clearing storage. Uninstalling what you no longer use. Updating to keep up with the times. That's what life is asking of you now. Not to delete everything, but to organize, to prioritize, to free space for what matters most. And here's the secret. Once you do, life starts to move faster. Not rushed, not chaotic. Aligned. Opportunities line up. Conversations shift. People enter your path who match your new energy. It feels like the universe is suddenly cooperating with you when in truth it's always been cooperating. You just hadn't cleared the noise to notice. Relationships are another area under the spotlight. This doesn't always mean endings. Sometimes it means adjustments. Ask yourself, where are you giving too much? Where are you holding back? Where are you pretending everything's fine when it isn't? These questions aren't easy, but they're necessary. A strong connection is built on truth, not convenience. The moon warns against hiding behind politeness when honesty is what your soul craves. But let's also talk about the relationship you have with yourself, because this is the one you can't escape. How often do you tell yourself later? Later I'll take care of my health. Later I'll chase that dream. Later I'll make time for what I love. The moon's warning says later is running out. The version of you that has been waiting is tired of waiting. And the longer you delay, the heavier it feels. Imagine planting seeds but never watering them, because you're waiting for the perfect time. Eventually those seeds dry out. But here's the miracle. If you start watering now, even old seeds can surprise you with growth. It's never too late to begin, unless you convince yourself it is. That's the trap this energy wants to free you from. Practical steps matter here. Don't overthink them. Small actions can shift everything. For example, if your mornings always begin with chaos, choose one thing to change, like starting the day without checking your phone. That single decision can alter your mood, your focus, and your energy for hours. If you've been holding on to resentment in a friendship, write a letter, whether you send it or not. The act of expressing the truth frees you. If your space feels cluttered, remove 3 things today that no longer represent you. So as you move forward, remember the moon's warning is not about fear, it's about choice. The choice to stop running on autopilot. The choice to face what you've avoided. The choice to believe that your future deserves more than your hesitation. And maybe that's the greatest gift of this moment. That the universe is reminding you how much power you already hold. Not in grand gestures, not in dramatic changes, but in the small, consistent ways you choose. Because once you do, everything shifts. Not overnight, not all at once, but steadily, surely, unshakably. And when you look back months from now, you'll realize this was the turning point. The path you've been walking hasn't been random. Every choice, every delay, every sudden twist has been guiding you to this very threshold. You may not have realized it while it was happening, but each step was preparing you for the next stage of your life. What once seemed scattered now begins to show its design. The turning point isn't something outside of you. It's the moment you recognize your own power to redirect your story. October 6th isn't an ordinary date on the calendar. It carries the weight of a pause, a breath in time where the world feels like it's holding you in place, urging you to choose. When the full moon rises, it doesn't ask permission. It illuminates what is hidden, showing you what is ready to be released and what is strong enough to continue forward with you. That light is not only in the sky. It shines on the crossroads inside your own life. You know the difference between moving through the motions and stepping into something with intention. This is the moment where the gap between those two choices becomes impossible to ignore. The turning point is not about forcing yourself into action you don't believe in. It's about finally admitting what you already know deep down. The waiting ends when you choose to live as if your future depends on today. Think of the way a tide changes. It pulls back slowly at first, almost quietly, but when it turns, the shift is undeniable. The water rushes in stronger and fuller than before. That's what this moment offers you. A surge of momentum that grows stronger the second you commit to moving forward instead of standing still. The current won't carry you if you keep clinging to the shore, but if you step in, it can take you further than you imagined. This is your challenge now, to stop postponing the life you know you want, to release the excuses that have kept you locked in place, to walk into the future as someone who chooses courage over comfort. You already have the strength. You've carried it with you through every storm. The only question left is whether you'll use it. So take this moment personally. Let it be the spark you've been waiting for. Step forward as if the universe has been holding this door open just for you, because it has. And once you cross it, nothing will ever look the same again. Moments like these remind us that life is not standing still. Every step, every pause, every hard truth has been shaping the way forward. Transformation doesn't arrive as a distant idea. It begins the moment you choose to see your world differently. October 6th marks the moon event that turns reflection into movement. The message is clear. Waiting is no longer an option. What rises now is meant to guide you towards strength, growth, and alignment with the future you deserve. The journey ahead is not about perfection. It's about honesty. The kind of honesty that clears the noise, that shows you what matters most, and that gives you permission to finally move with confidence. That is where hope lives, in the quiet decision to step forward with courage even when the path is uncertain. So take this to heart and share your own experience in the comments below. What shifts are happening in your world? What truths have been rising for you? Type them out and claim them. And if you're ready to walk into this new chapter, subscribe now, like this video, and share it with someone who needs the reminder. Stay connected, because the next message will take you even deeper into the guidance waiting for